Hello students, today we are going to start our fourth chapter, definite integration. And in the previous chapter, we have seen and solved many examples on indefinite integration. Now let's check what is the idea behind this definite integration. Definite integration is denoted by this integration a to b fx dx, where this a is called as lower limit and this b is called as upper limit. And you can understand this fx is a curve which is continuous in the closed interval ab. So to find the definite integration, there are two methods. First method is limit of sum and second method is fundamental theorem of integral calculus. So first check what is limit of sum method. So this is xy plane and here we are going to consider the curve. Let this is the curve y is equal to fx and we are considering this curve in the closed interval AB. So we will consider here x is equal to a and here x is equal to b. Now we will draw line. This is x is equal to a. Now we will draw x is equal to b line. And now this definite integration from a to b means area under the curve. That means this area which is bounded by this curve x-axis, line x is equal to a and x is equal to b. This area is called as the definite integration of fx from a to b. Now more detail we will see afterwards in this lecture only. First, let's check what is fundamental theorem of integral calculus. Let fx integration of fx dx equal to phi of x plus c. If we want indefinite integration, so fx dx from a to b is given by, write down first box bracket, then write down this value. Now indefinite integration, this c is eliminated. Why? We will see in the next lecture. First check what is the theorem. We will write this lower limit downside. We will write this upper limit upside, and after that first substitute upper limit. So we will write phi of b, then middle sign minus, and then substitute lower limit, that means phi of a. We will use this formula and we will find out the value of this definite integration. So let's check first the concept of definite integral as a limit of sum. So let's start our first point, definite integral as a limit of sum, and again we will consider xy plane. So this is xy plane, this is x origin, this is y axis, and here we are considering the continuous curve y is equal to fx, and this is continuous in the closed interval AB. So again here we will consider this first point x is equal to a. We will draw this line, and here we will consider x is equal to b point. Again draw this line, and we know that definite integration means area under the curve. And now check this. This is not in the perfect shape of rectangle or trapezium, and we know many formulae to find out areas. So for our convenience, we are dividing this area into many rectangles. Why? Because we know if this is a rectangle, then its area can be found by length into breadth. So area is equal to length multiplied by breadth. We will use this formula and find out each rectangle's area. So consider there are n rectangles and we will find out the area of each rectangle. So we need length and breadth also. So again for our convenience, we are considering this width as h. width of each rectangle is h. So this also width h. As this point is A, so this point will be A plus H. This point will be A plus twice H, and so on. This is last point, so this point will be A plus NH. Now we know this breadth. Now what is length? Since this is y is equal to fx curve, this length is f of a, since this point x is a. Also this length will be f of a plus h. This will be f of a plus 2h, and so on. This length will be f of a plus nh. Now for this rectangle, we will consider this second point, this second length, and so this is the breadth and this is the length, and then we will find out the area of first rectangle. And therefore area of first rectangle denoted by S1 is equal to breadth, this is h, and this length of second point is f of a plus h. By the same way, to find the area of this second rectangle, S2 equal to again breadth same h, and this height is f of a plus twice h, and so on. The area of nth rectangle, this Sn equal to again this width is h and this height is f of a plus nh. To find the area under the curve, we have to add up all these areas, and suppose that area is denoted by S is equal to first area, this is h f of a plus h, then area of second rectangle is h f of a plus twice h, and so on, area of last rectangle. And again we will collect this under summation symbol. So summation h, so here we will write h f of a plus, here I am taking this r h, where this r is running from 1 to n. Now check if after expansion we will get this only. Now consider this rth rectangle, this point will be a plus rh. When we are considering this rectangle, suppose, so this is the extra area. So to get the better approximation, we have to take these rectangles very close. That means this width tends to 0. So if we are taking this h so small, that time here I am writing when h tends to 0, n tends to infinity. That means we are getting infinitely many rectangles, and then that time we get better approximation and more correct value of the definite integration. That's why here we will take limit n tends to infinity, and here also we have to take limit n tends to infinity to get more correct value, and this is nothing but the definite integration a to b of fx dx. And check now how we will find the value of h. This h equal to, this distance is b minus a, and we have divided this length into n rectangles. So here we will write h is equal to b minus a upon n. So we will use this and this formula to find out the definite integral as a limit of sum. Now let's check some useful results. We have already studied these formulae, and first formula is summation r running from 1 to n, and its answer is n into n plus 1 upon 2. Then second one, summation r square r running from 1 to n, and its answer is n plus 1, then twice n plus 1 and upon 6. Now for summation r cube, we have to write square of this. That means here we will write n square, then n plus 1 bracket square and upon 2 square is 4. Then summation of 1 r running from 1 to n. That means if r is equal to 1 then also 1. For r2 then also 1. Like this n times its addition is n. And last formula is for a geometric progression Sn is equal to, we will write first term, then 1 minus r raised to n upon 1 minus r. This is for r less than 1. And when this r is greater than 1, we will reverse this first term as it is, and here we will write r raised to n minus 1 and here upon r minus 1. We will use all these formulae while solving exercise 4.1. Let's solve exercise 4.1, and question is evaluate the following integrals as limit of sum. And this is our first example, integration from 1 to 3x minus 4 dx. So here first we will write down formula, and this is equal to limit n tends to infinity summation r running from 1 to n h f of a plus rh. So say this is equation number 1, and now we will equate this function with this. Now look here, since this given integration equal to this, we have this fx is equal to 3x minus 4. Also this a equal to 1, which is lower limit, and upper limit this b equal to 3. So by this formula first we will find out the value of h and then f of a plus rh, and therefore h is equal to, we know the formula, which is b minus a upon n. Just substitute values. B means 3 and a is 1, so 3 minus 1 upon n. Again 3 minus 1 is 2, and we will move this n to the left hand side. Here it is h, so here we will get nh. So we have nh equal to 2, and also we want this f of a plus rh equal to f of value of a is 1 plus rh. And how we will find out this? Now check, f of x equal to 3x minus 4. So wherever there is x, we will put a plus rh, that means 1 plus rh. So this is equal to 3. Instead of x we are writing this 1 plus rh, and then we will write this minus 4. Now solve this bracket. So 3 plus 3rh minus 4, and again 3 minus 4 is minus 1. So here 3rh minus 1. So we will substitute these two values in equation 1. We get, so again we will write formula, limit n tends to infinity summation r running from 1 to n h, and now f of a plus rh means 3rh minus 1. Now we will apply this summation for these two terms. So again we have this limit n tends to infinity as it is, and h and 3h means here we will write 3h square, and this summation is for r. So summation r running from 1 to n into r, and again for this h outside, and we will apply this summation for 1. So summation r running from 1 to n into 1. This summation r means n into n plus 1 upon 2, and here minus h as it is, and summation of 1 means n. And again here we will write first constant terms 3 upon 2, then this is h square. This n is already there. From these two we will take n common, and so we have n square, and in bracket here 1 plus we are taking n common, so here we will write 1 upon n, and this we will write as minus nh, and bracket complete. And since value of nh equal to 2, we will substitute here and here, and this means 2 square, and here we will write 1 plus 1 upon n, and here minus 2, this bracket complete. 1 2 get cancelled, and check now here 3 2s are 6, in bracket 1 plus, now we will substitute n tends to infinity, so here if we will substitute infinity, 1 upon infinity is 0, and then write down minus 2, and 1 plus 0 is 1, 6 ones are 6, minus 2 is 4, and so value of this integral as a limit of sum is 4. And we will solve by the same way next examples. This is our second example, integration 0 to 4 x square dx. So first we will write the formula for definite integration. Limit n tends to infinity, summation r running from 1 to n h into f of a plus rh. Say this is equation number 1. Check here, f of x equal to x square, and then lower limit this a equal to 0 and upper limit this b equal to 4. So first we will find out the value of h. So h is equal to b minus a upon n. Now we will substitute these values, and so b is 4, a is 0 upon n, and so h is equal to 4 upon n. So again we are finding nh equal to 4, and after that we will find, check now, we have found out h. Now we want f of a plus rh. Now substitute here value of a is 0, so f of 0 plus rh, that means this is simply f of rh. Then how we will find out this value? Check, f of x equal to x square, that means we have to write square of this variable. Same here, we will write square of this, its square is r square h square. And now again by 1, so by 1, integration 0 to 4 x square dx equal to, this is our formula. So here we will write limit n tends to infinity, summation r running from 1 to n. Then we will write this h, and f of a plus rh, its value is r square h square. So again in the next step, this h into h square means h cube into r square. Now we will apply this summation for r square, and we will substitute value of h. Value of h is this 4 upon n. We will substitute here. So 4 upon n cube. We can use this also, we can use this last also, and then summation r running from 1 to n into r square. We will use here second formula, and this cube is 64 and n cube, and summation r square, its formula is n plus 1, then twice n plus 1 upon 6. Now from these 3, this is n, from this bracket n, and from this bracket also we will take n common. So n into n into n cube. This 1 upon 6 I am writing here, and this n means n cube, and here we will write 1 plus 1 upon n, and here we will write 2 plus 1 upon n. And this n cube get cancelled, and we will substitute this n tends to infinity means infinity here. So we have, here we will write 1 plus 0, 1 upon infinity means 0, and here 2 plus 1 upon infinity means 0. Now check here, 1 plus 0 is 1, 2 plus 0 is 2, so 2 ones are 2 threes are, and so final answer is 64 upon 3. This is the answer of this definite integration. This is our third example, integration 0 to 2 e raised to x into dx. So first we will write down formula. Limit n tends to infinity, summation r running from 1 to n, and h f of e plus rh. Again comparing this function with this, we have f of x equal to e raised to x, and this lower limit a equal to 0, and this upper limit b equal to 2. After that we are finding always the value of h, which is, now we will substitute these values here. So b is 2, a is 0 upon n, and 2 upon n, or we can move this n that side, and therefore nh equal to 2. We can take this also. After that we are finding this second value, which is f of a plus rh, and check here, value of a is 0, so again f of 0 plus rh, which is simply, and what is the function, f of x equal to e raised to x. So here also we will write first e, and then we will write this is raised to rh. So we will substitute these two things in this equation 1. Look here now, limit n tends to infinity, summation r running from 1 to n, then h, and f of a plus rh means e raised to rh. Now here we can observe r term, so we will apply summation for this term. Here we will write h, and then summation r running from 1 to n, and then we will write this term e raised to rh. We will expand this. Look again we will write h, and here we will substitute value of r. For r equal to 1, this term will be e raised to h. Then for r equal to 2, e raised to 2h, and so on. The last term is e raised to nh, and this bracket complete, which is a geometric progression. Since this is geometric progression, here first term is a is e raised to h, then common ratio r is equal to divide second term by first, e raised to twice h means e raised to h square, and upon this first term, so 1 e raised to h get cancelled, and this is e raised to h. So we will use here formula for Sn as Sn equal to a in bracket r raised to n minus 1 upon r minus 1, because here r is greater than 1. And now we will use this formula here. So first term is e raised to h, and then r means again e raised to h, again raised to n, and then minus 1 upon e raised to h minus 1. And here e raised to h raised to n means e raised to nh minus 1, and upon this as it is. Value of h is 2 upon n, so nh equal to 2. We will substitute here. So here I am writing e square minus 1 and upon e raised to h minus 1. Now again in the next step, as this n tends to infinity, we know, check here, if n tends to infinity, h tends to 0. So here I am writing h tends to 0, and this e square minus 1 is constant, we will take outside. We will apply limit upside and downside. So h tends to 0 for e raised to h, and again we will move this h term here in the denominator, and so this will become e raised to h minus 1 upon h. So again in the next step, this term as it is e square minus 1. Now we will substitute 0 here. So upside e raised to 0, and we will use this formula. We know limit x tends to 0, a raised to x minus 1 upon x is log of a. So its answer is log of e. And again e raised to 0, its value is 1. Log of e is also 1, and so final answer is e square minus 1. This is our final answer, and here we have completed definite integration as a limit of sum. And second method we are going to look in the next lecture.